I'd really like to tell you that New York City radio is great, but unfortunately, I really can't. Current New York City radio is bland and boring. I'm a baby boomer who grew up in North Jersey. When I was a little kid, I saw the Brooklyn Dodgers play at Ebbets Field. I was at Shea Stadium for the 1968 AFL Championship game when the Jets beat Oakland. I was at Super Bowl III, the greatest upset in the history of the NFL, when Joe Namath guaranteed victory and then delivered. I was there to see the Miracle Mets win the 1969 World Series. I saw both Shea Stadium Beatle concerts. My formative roots were implanted in New York City culture. It's just downright disappointing to see what's happened to New York City radio. I grew up listening to WABC and Dan Ingram and Cousin Brucey. I grew up listening to WMCA and the good guys, me, Mitchell Reed, Gary Stevens, and Jack Specker. The greatness of New York City radio is long gone. There isn't even a New York City radio station that plays predominantly 50s and 60s music. If you're a baby boomer, there's really nothing worth listening to on the current New York City radio dial. It's one thing to complain about it. It's quite another to do something about it, and we've done something about it. Subscribe to 60sradio.com, the show that brings back the 1960s sound and memories of 1960s WABC and 1960s WMCA, where no New York radio station plays more than about 500 pre-1971 songs and almost no pre-Beatle music at all. 60sradio.com plays 3,000 1955 to 1971 super hits. This means all the English invasion, doo-wop, surf, psychedelic, and soul music that are almost an extinct species anywhere on the New York radio dial today. 60sradio.com does not repeat any song more than once every 12 weeks. 60sradio.com has the widest selection of 50s and 60s music anywhere. This means that 60sradio.com plays thousands of 50s and 60s hits that you're never going to hear on New York radio ever again. 60sradio.com is much more than just great 50s and 60s music. 60sradio.com is the real, living, breathing sound of 1960s WABC and WMCA, complete with the original personality and the original commercials. 60sradio.com makes the 1960s sound of WABC and WMCA come alive. It's 1960s New York radio. It's fun at 60sradio.com. Subscribe to 60sradio.com. The fun spot on your dial. Go to 60sradio.com. Subscribe to 60sradio.com today.